are not taking part. Now there has been escalating violence in the eastern province of Donetsk and Luhansk, where controversial independence votes were held last week. Kiev and the West have dismissed those votes as illegitimate. Now the threat of violence in the east is stopping some pro-Kiev demonstrators there from praying for peace and unity. CNN's Atika Shuba reports.
They come here every day to sing and pray, rain or shine. They have been shot at, some of them beaten, but they still pull out their blue and yellow ribbons from their handbags and pin them to their chests. An act of peaceful defiance, one day after the Donetsk Declaration of Independence. These are Ukraine's faithful. They have been meeting here every day for more than 2 months since the fighting began. Donetsk has not suddenly become the Donetsk People's Republic. We do not recognize this referendum, this woman tells us. They have tried to destroy us, but together we are strong. And if we back off now, only then will we lose.
There aren't many places on the streets of Donetsk where you can really show your support for Ukraine anymore. But this is one of them. And every now and then a car comes by, honks their support, or a jogger jogs past, says glory to Ukraine. And every single day these people come out to appeal for peace and unity.
How worried are you that Sergei Garmash's office is another place you can still see the Ukrainian flag in Donetsk? One of the few places, he tells us. Unfortunately, the office is abandoned now. After I was shot at, I ordered everyone to leave, he says. These are photos immediately after the attack. After this incident, Sergei now moves in secret, never sleeping in the same place. It also turned Sergei from a journalist into an activist, now one of the leaders of the group known as the Patriotic Forces of Ukraine. He admits that the turnout for the referendum on Donetsk's independence has shaken him. I was really shocked when I saw the number of people going to vote, he says. The separatists are winning tactically, he admits, but they will lose strategically because they have no picture of tomorrow. People will quickly become disappointed with them. For Ukraine's faithful, Donetsk is now an even more dangerous place. But they refuse to leave or lose their faith. They say they will come tomorrow, the next day, and the day after, until peace returns to Ukraine. Atika Schubert, CNN, Donetsk.
And in sports, on Tuesday, attention shifted to the Banjul Beach front, where water sports enthusiasts and delegates attending the ongoing Roots Festival gathered to watch the Regatta 1 of the country's indigenous sports. Momodo S. Jallo was in the midst of the ambience, and he tells us more.
The colorful scenes Tuesday afternoon at the Gambia Ports Authority Wharf in Banjul. A spectacular cultural display inside the waters of the Atlantic Ocean by the fishing community as hundreds if not thousands of spectators stormed the seaside to catch a glimpse of the traditional boat racing, famously known locally as regatta. Most of us might be obsessed with football, volleyball, cricket and other sports borrowed from the West. But it might interest you to know that several decades ago, there existed some exciting traditional sports, which were once upon a time the darling of Gambian sports. These traditional games are a mix and blend of culture and sports. With the boat racing competition being part of the 11th Root Homecoming Festival, the event was graced by cabinet ministers and the Africans in the diaspora, who traveled thousands of miles to the Smiling Coast to reconnect with their roots.
On behalf of the Ministry of Tourism and the organizing committee, you are once again all welcome here. Sit, relax, and enjoy this wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
Then came the moment everyone was waiting for. 5 teams, namely Banjul Albert Market, Wafinjago, Bone Road, and Bakau, ready and waiting inside the sea to compete in different events. First was the swimming race, and it was a close contest from start to finish, as both swimmers demonstrated some astonishing skills inside the water. At the end, it was 1-2 for Bara, as Pap Jonga and Jeganwai Job swam away from the rest to finish in first and second place respectively. Next was the biggest of all the events, the traditional boat racing, or canoe paddling, known locally as regatta. The boat race was equally a tight contest, as both 5 teams paddled their canoes with some real vigor. But after a fascinating but thrilling contest, the Wafinjago team fend off stiff competition to win the race, with the narrowest of margins ahead of Bara in second place. Shortly after the race, the winners from Wafinjago and Banjul described the boat race as an exciting sport dating back several decades ago. The sport, they say, is part of their culture, inherited from their elders. The pillow fight was won by Abdullah Sar of Bara, beating all his opponents all the way to victory. The canoe decoration and parade was also won by Bara, meaning the North Bank Coastal Settlement were the overall winners, having dominated most of the events. The event showcased the beauty of indigenous African sport, much to the delight of the visiting Jamaican reggae icon Sizzla and co from the diaspora.
It was a vivid experience for me, and I'm honored being here, and I'm really happy representing the people from the diaspora and the people in Africa on a whole. Well, education, music and sports goes well hand in hand. It was a vivid experience for me, and I wish you can really heighten the spirit to involve a lot more kids in doing such, because it represents us as African. You know, we're cultural and we're very exciting about being physical, and that's the greatest of all. And seeing the old organization under the auspices of the President and the government, we appreciate very well, and we extend all our respect to the sport, and we say yes, we love the regatta. Beautiful.
It was memorable. I would love to bring it to Jamaica. The slippery pole, the greasy pole, I'd love to see it at the Lucy Regatta in Hanover, Jamaica, one of our 14 parishes. It's creative. I've never seen that aspect of a regatta, but I've seen regattas before. This is most colorful. I love the colorful boats. I love the competition. Your athletes are physically, they can deal with the endurance. They look physically fit. And I love the dancing, the cultural aspect of it, the way it's put together. Beautifully done, and I'd love to be back again the next 2 years.
One thing certain, the traditional boat racing was real fun, memories of which will linger in the minds of those who travels miles away to visit and know their ancestral home.
Thank you, Mama, for the 9 months you carry me through all them pain and suffering. No one knows the struggle you bear, just only you. Mama Africa, Holy Manuel like King Selassie. Regatta, regatta, we love you.
Momodes Jalo, GRT Sports.
Time for the weather report from the Central Forecast Office.
The source assures us of a continuous flow, and from there, everything follows. And for those of us who know what the River Gambia stands for, understanding its sustainability in all aspects of life is easily confirmed. The River Gambia provides nutritious delicacies as food, while it provides its wildlife a balanced ecosystem. This river, as a sanctuary, is committed to its inhabitants' needs without ceasing. And as you travel along, all these values are replicated in one company, Elton, just like the River Gambia, leads in its commitment to values that matter most. Elton, championing the vision.
Good evening, viewers. This is the weather forecast. We experience a warm and sunny atmosphere across the country this afternoon. satellite picture captured at 1600